Welcome to another enlightening podcast session. Today I'll be talking about something that's eating deep into society. It becomes so normalized that it is rarely seen as a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the African time mentality. I'll be talking about how deeply rooted it is and how it affects us in every sphere and how we can make changes. But before we get into this, please do also subscribe to the podcast if you haven't yet done so. Thank you. With that said, you might be wondering what this African time mentality thing really is. The African time mentality is a deeply sated system that encourages a decline in punctuality to events, social gatherings, and even places of work. Put that way, it sounds pretty awful, doesn't it? Well, I must say so. Most of us are guilty of this. Every thought of going for an event that was slated, let's say 10 a.m. to go at 10:30 a.m. because you feel it won't start at the supposed time. Or setting up a meeting or social gathering by 12 p.m. but actually expecting people to be there by 1 p.m. because of repeated occurrence of lateness. That is the African time mentality, being engaged by people of this side of the world. It's a running system and it's basically two-sided. As seen in the examples I gave, I'll explain further. Everything that is in existence started from somewhere, and this homegrown mentality isn't any different. Imagine an event slated to start at 10 a.m. and a great number of people are punctual, but on arrival, the event has not started. They wait, and the event ends up starting at 11 a.m. instead of the initial 10 a.m. Another event is held at another place and it is slated for 10 a.m. as well. The host is well ready by the arranged time, but the guests aren't all there yet. The host waits and the guests all troop in sometime before 11 a.m., making the event start later than it was supposed to. These are two scenarios where there are cases of lateness on both parts. One would feel a better situation at another event would make everything right again, right? A repetitive occurrence, however, is the case hereafter. You see, the rate of punctuality is on a down low because after time, it'll become a norm in people's mind that things won't start on time. And that's the cycle we're in now, and it has spiraled much out of our control. There is a catch in this mentality, though. It is psychologically selective. A person going out for a job interview will definitely not be thinking about the time the employer will be there. This is because his or her survival instincts are superior and there's a level of competition as well. The person totally puts out the mentality until he or she settles down there. This ushers us into the why avenue. Why people engage in the African time mentality. One very common one is over familiarity. When you don't feel the need to make an impression anymore. You already know when the boss gets into the office, so you can stroll in late because number one won't be there. The same thing with events and social gatherings. Over familiarity causes damage to the respect for time allotment. Another thing that pushes the mentality forward is the urge to impress. Seems unlikely? Trust Africans to pull up attention. They pull up attention stunts by showing up late. Another thing that is very much a cause is disorganization. Running up close is procrastination. People leave important details till the last minute and use those as excuses. The African time mentality is very much a problem, and the next question is, can it be solved? Sadly, it cannot. This Ferris wheel has spun out of control, but there is always a solution. Knowing the problems and issues surrounding the African time mentality, we can reduce it to the barest minimum by showing up to events early, teaching the importance of time management, and building healthy relationships with people by taking responsibility for our actions as regards punctuality. It's a long road, but doing together, one step, we are well on our way to achieving a better society for our generation and the next to come. So that whole episode was written by Ogochucwu Chiemeke, and she is a great writer. Like, I'm excited for her work to come out soon. She's going to be working on some short blogs or writing posts. When it drops, I will let you know. But hey, that's what we're about here, growing and learning as we go along, encouraging young creatives, and growing as a community. African time is something that you cannot just overstate, and we'll definitely be talking about other really big issues in the Nigerian community and African community too. By the way, short notice, did you know there's a thing called Mexican time? And yes, it's the same as African time. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay. Yeah. By the way, this whole theme song was designed by me, so let's get it. Take care.